wife of Muslim extremist found in New Mexico at training camp, tells of ordeal of losing son. The mother of the missing 3-year-old boy whose search led authorities to discover 11 starving children along with 5 Muslim adults in a remote terrorist training camp in New Mexico has told how her husband said he was taking their son to the park, then walked out and never returned. Speaking on Hakama Ramzi's behalf, attorney and family friend Sharif Muhammad has revealed her husband, Siraj ibn Wahhaj's cold-hearted deception. And he has told of Ramzi's devastation that skeletal remains of a child were found in the compound 145 miles northeast of Himalaya, New Mexico. She has yet to be formally told they are those of her son, Abdul Ghani, but other family members including her father-in-law have been told it is the disabled 3-year-old. He said, "I think this has been mischaracterized as a custody battle because it's been reported that he took the child. But they were married, they're still married, although he chose to estrange himself by his actions." Hakama told us, "He told me he was taking Abdul Ghani to the park for a little while. She had no reason to think any different." He added, "She's having a very hard time right now." Hakama is a mother whose son has been missing for 9 months, and she has gone through every range of emotion from anger to sadness to despair to helplessness to fear, anxiety and a desire for revenge. As far as Ramzi was concerned, Muhammad explained, her 15-year marriage to Ibn Wahhaj, 39, who took the child on December 1 last year, was uneventful. Looking back, Mr. Muhammad said, Ramzi has conceded that there were strains in her marriage and that her husband was acting differently but could not expand on quite how. He said, with hindsight, knowing the outcome, perhaps she might have read into things differently, but there was nothing that set off red flags for her. It has since emerged that Ibn Wahhaj told Ramzi, who is originally from Morocco, that he was going to perform an exorcism of the child whom he thought was possessed by evil. Abdul Ghani suffered from disabilities that meant he had seizures and needed medication and special care. Muhammad said that Abdul Ghani, whose 4th birthday fell on Monday, wasn't your average child. He said, he had health circumstances he was dealing with, but to Hakama he was her miracle baby. She had tried so long to conceive before she finally had him, and so he was, at least in her eyes, the best thing ever. He was perfect. She didn't feel that he was in any way deprived of enjoying life. He was having a good life and she thought they were having a good life together. Now, Muhammad said, she is trying to navigate the criminal justice system with his help and that of fellow attorney M. Karan Beg of the Beg firm in Norcross, Georgia. Authorities entered the camp established by Ibn Wahhaj, his brother-in-law Lucas Morton, 40, sisters Hujra, 38, and Subhana Wahhaj, 35, and Jani Levile, 35, also described as Ibn Wahhaj's wife, on Friday. The FBI had been monitoring it for some time, but Towns County officers moved in after they intercepted a message from one inside the camp asking for help and saying, "We are starving." Muhammad said that Ramzi has been shocked by Towns County, New Mexico prosecutors' assertions that her husband had been training the children, ages between 1 and 15, to commit mass school shootings. Neighboring landowners have told of hearing gunshots coming from the compound, and investigators found evidence of target practice. Ibn Wahhaj was heavily armed with an AR-15, 30 rounds of ammunition and 4 pistols, one of which he was carrying when he was arrested. Loaded firearms were within easy reach of the children. Muhammad said, there was nothing in her relationship with Mr. Ibn Wahhaj that led Hakama to think he was planning anything of that nature. She was shocked by the reports, as you can imagine. Ramzi is now anticipating being questioned by investigators in both Clayton County, Georgia, where she first reported her son missing, and Taos County, New Mexico, where Ibn Wahhaj and the other adults in the camp are awaiting trial on charges including multiple counts of child abuse. He said, "We are just waiting for investigators to approach her. They haven't as yet, but she expects to be contacted as they continue their investigations. Right now her focus is just trying to get through this next stage, the identification of the remains found in the camp. She's having to come to terms with the prospect of what we all suspect will be confirmation of our worst fears."